Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lion's Den Show. And here's your host, Cody Judy.
Hello and welcome to the Lion's Den Show. I'm your host and your toast, Cody Judy. Cheers! It's good to be with you today. Today is April 9th, 2011, and we have a stimulating show for you today that is very politically revealing. Today we are going to lay out exactly the grounds that Obama has committed fraud, not just upon the Constitution, but for every person, whether Democrat or Republican or Independent, that voted for him. And we're going to talk a little about the radio force behind his cover-up and what is happening to Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh now that Donald Trump has pulled the Trump card on Obama. Now, as you know, much has been said about Donald Trump and perhaps getting into the presidential race, and his calling Barack Hussein Obama out on the carpet as far as the eligibility to be president by virtue of the qualifications for president embraced by demand and upheld by the supreme law of the land, our U.S. Constitution. This has caused a great division even within the Republican Party. The division has separated Republicans who think Obama's eligibility should be an issue to his even being in the White House for another 2 years, and those who would like to just let it go, and with that the civil rights of all Americans. Most people don't connect those dots. I am going to connect them for you. Let's face it, many Americans have never read the Constitution of the United States in this little book here. This book has 48 pages in it. It's called the United States Constitution. 12 pages of that book are details about the President of the United States. 12 pages! Now how many pages of this book cover free speech? I'll tell you, 1 page. How many pages of this book cover habeas corpus? Just 1 page. How many pages cover the free press? 1 page. How many pages of it cover the right to bear arms? 1 page. How many pages of it cover the Supreme Court? 1 page. How many pages of it cover the right of evidence used against you if you're accused of a crime? 1 page. How many pages of it cover the printing of money? Surely that would be a long dissertation. Oh, 1 page. How many pages of this Constitution cover the ability for Congress to borrow billions and trillions of dollars now? 1 page. How about the Army? 1 page. How about the Navy? Oh look, 2 pages. Here's a good one. How about the right for you to petition your own government? 1 page. Now let's again review the number of pages regarding the President of the United States. How many again? 12 pages. Do you think that it's important, Congress? Do you think that that's important, we the people? Do you understand now why this is a bedrock of our Constitution and why I have chosen to take a stand on this issue? If Congress and the fans of Barack Hussein Obama are so willing to give up 12 pages of the United States Constitution, how easy do you suppose it'll be for them to just take 1 page that considers one of your rights that are important to you? These are the dots that connect and resonate into a single atom from which the division causes the same reaction as if you split the atom. Let's again review the number of pages. 12 pages! Much has been said about the Koran and Islam penetrating into America and the right of Americans' free speech to burn the flag and to burn the Koran or Bible. How do Americans feel about the pieces of paper that protects what we call inalienable rights? How do Americans feel about burning 12 pages of the Constitution? Because that is what every representative and senator is doing, who will not speak the truth about the fraud of America, voters who depended upon them to fight for the rights within the Constitution and challenge any subversion of those 12 pages regarding the President of the United States that are being burned right now by the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court. Every voter who voted for McCain or Obama should be absolutely furious with this burning of 12 pages of our Constitution, and they should be very concerned with the one page here and there that is burning, and that so easily is burned after 12 pages is burned. If you don't think I'm right, and there that is so easily connected there, listen to this caller who Rush Limbaugh allowed on the air, not because of some luck of the draw, but because he is trying to cover his butt with slamming the phone down on me and ignoring my phone calls and ignoring the letters I have written him that are printed in my book with dates, taking a stand. And you can read those letters by purchasing the book. Rush Limbaugh got special attention from me in this book. Unlike Donald Trump, who only got one letter from me, Rush Limbaugh has 2 letters printed in my book, Taking a Stand. So let's listen in on the caller that Rush Limbaugh allowed on the air, and let's see how Rush Limbaugh, at the same time, I want you to reflect of Glenn Beck passing from Fox News, and who is, you know, has been fired from Fox News, and he also called birthers foolish, and the 12 pages of the Constitution that are regarding the President of the United States, he called those foolish. These 2 guys, Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck, along with many others of the conservative talk radio bunch, are now finding themselves in, shall we call it, American predicament, based on their positions to the American public. And I'll remind you that these guys have call screeners who will not let anyone's call go through whom they do not want to go through. So we know that this caller that Rush Limbaugh let or was allowed to come through actually was sought by him. Run that clip from Rush Limbaugh's show, please, and listen to Rush Limbaugh squirm about the 12 pages of the Constitution of the United States, and let's predict how your representatives and senators may also react when $1 billion or more gets pumped into upholding 12 pages of the U.S. Constitution in the upcoming elections, where they will find themselves standing before our Creator in their solemn oaths to uphold the Constitution with the trust of the American people who put them in office. Run that clip, please, and I want you to reflect as we're listening to this about the trust violations that Americans across party lines have had penetrated and perpetrated upon them by the Republicans and Democrats, who so much as allowed one single vote to be cast for Barack Hussein Obama as an eligible candidate, as well as John McCain. Think about how many votes were cast on fraudulent candidates and how much fraud we the people have had shoved down our throats, that is expressed so eloquently with this caller's fury. Run the clip, please.
Who is next? Angela. Excuse me, Angela in Arnold, Missouri, not far from St. Louis. Welcome to the EIB Network. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Rush, I am incensed truly incensed that you are so worked up and in a dither because Donald Trump is actually having the nerve to go after the validity of Barack Obama's birthplace.
Wait a minute. What do you mean?
And is just not going to leave the issue alone. I know you've been chuckling about it because he's having so much nerve to just not just leave this issue alone. And the fact of the matter is that his citizenship has been a suspicious issue from the very beginning, and not one Republican, high Republican or you, has ever really tried to nail him on this issue. And if it does turn out that he is not a true citizen, then I think all of you should hang your heads in shame because of all the destruction our country has had to suffer ever since he was elected, in spite of being the fraud that we know he probably really is.
So you're mad at me?
I am furious. I wanted you and anybody else to go after him on this issue before he was elected. It would have been the easiest way to have stopped him. It would have been a no-brainer. But nobody would until he was elected, and everything was just hidden under the rug. And now look what we have had ever since.
Just a moment. There were court cases. Judges threw it out. Judges looked at it. There were any number of efforts made to get to the bottom of it.
How is Donald Trump going to get anywhere with it then?
Well, why aren't you mad at Trump for not getting into it earlier? Why are you mad at me for pointing out what Trump's doing? Well, how come you're not mad at Trump for not being on this for 2 years? Trump's a late arrival here.
Trump is not the one who has the show that's supposed to be exposing all the political mess in this country. You are. Yeah. You're the one who's supposed to be enlightening everybody, and you did not do as much as you could have done to enlighten us to how big a fraud Obama is. And, if it does turn out that he's not a citizen, I think you should hang your head in shame because our country has suffered so much.
You know what? Wait just a second, Angelo. Throw this birth certificate business out, and I got to remind you, there is no evidence whatsoever Obama was not born in Hawaii. There's something he doesn't want us to see about the birth certificate, but there's nothing to glom onto here other than his reticence in having the birth certificate seen. But in terms, I am the only one who proclaimed the guy a fraud. I'm the one who did not go along with Obama. I'm the one who said, I hope he failed. I'm the guy who took all the arrows for a whole Republican Party and everybody else for suggesting this guy was a fraud and filled with deceit, that he's not who he said he was, on the basis of policy and the things that he had planned for this country.
But the fact that there was no evidence was the very reason why you should have gone forward. I have evidence that I'm a citizen. Why didn't he have to produce the evidence? Nobody made him do it. Not even you, and everyone else should have made him provide the evidence. He should have been able to get away with that.
So what do you want me to do now? You're mad at me for playing Trump? You're upset with me for airing sound bites of Trump?
I'm upset because now Donald Trump has to come in and do the job that you and the high-ranking Republicans in office should have been doing before the election. Well, then why is there anything Donald Trump can be going after? Why are we even talking about it?
Well, because
there must be an issue.
If I were afraid of this, as you are alleging, I wouldn't even be playing Trump sound bites. Or if I were, I'd be making fun of Trump and telling him to shut up and go away. But I'm not.
Well, he's apparently willing to take the risk of...
Let me tell you something.
In case it turns out that he's wrong.
Okay, if you want to focus, Angela, on what should have happened before the election, we can do that. And I can focus on the stupidity of half the country that voted for the guy. And I can talk about all